That's a really good question.
I thought about wearing it, bling.
Wrestling's pretty good. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Frank Castle is in my bones. Frank Castle is in my bones.
Like, you know what, I can't look at this thing.
And the things that I saw in him and that he saw in me, too.
So for 5 years, he asked you, and, obviously you made the decision, gave him the call in August. I'm just curious if it was Sean's attachment or something else that clicked for you this past August.
I love Sean. We've done a movie together, and it's great. It was here. I can't tell you exactly why, Scott, but I can tell you the date. It was August 14th. I was driving with my family, and both my kids, they both had their earphones in. And I was just on my own driving. They were listening to music or something, and it just came to me like a flash, so clear. The question came into my head, what do I really want to do? And boom, there it came. And I knew. And by the time I got there, I rang Ryan, literally got out of the car, rang him. And he said, this timing is crazy because we've got a meeting with Kevin Feige at about 5:00 this afternoon. So, yeah. So it all just came for the right reason, but it was really like a flash. And I was genuinely out, Scott. Like, I was like, I'm cool, I'm done. Anyone who asked me on the street, that asked me every single day, come back and say, no, I'm good, I'm done. I wasn't pretending, I really was.
Ryan, there was a lot of mystery and intrigue with Paul Mullen's 1-year contract. Just curious if you could say if it was more or less than the projected budget for Deadpool 3.
Well, you have to take that up with Kevin Feige. Deadpool, certainly Deadpool 1's budget was just, spit and about 58 cents.
What kind of path were you on at age 14?
Ooh. Wasn't good. 14.
But and I was heading in the wrong direction. But at that age, when you're starting to get out there and be tempted by more adult things. But the very lessons I learned in the club, I think, helped to keep me from going too far. I knew right from wrong. And that's something you're taught. It's cliche to say, but it's true. You're really taught that in the club. Right from wrong, and to be honest, and those kind of lessons.
When you look back now at the, iconic runs that you and Arnold had at the same time, you guys are both making pictures, late 80s through the 90s. Was that a competition where you guys pushed each other to be at your best, you think?
Yeah, we really disliked each other immensely. And because this may sound a little vain, but I think we were pioneering a kind of genre at that time. And it hasn't been seen since, really. So the competition, because of his nature, he is very competitive, and so am I. And I just thought it actually helped. But off screen, we were still competitive, and that was not a healthy thing at all. But we've become really good friends.
With the success and the accolades you received last year, with especially those 3 films, just curious if you saw this series as an opportunity to do something different and perhaps a challenge as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm always looking to challenge myself and keep myself on my toes and expand and not to stagnate, I suppose. And obviously those 3 previous projects have been very, very distinct and different, but they were all rather expressive. There was a lot of emotional expression going on, and I think what was attractive to me about this character particularly was a kind of a more internal expressiveness rather than it being too. He's a stoic guy. He's a kind of internal Mormon police officer. He's not a musical theater writer. He's not angsty superhero, and he's not a televangelist. He's a guy that's just trying to be a good man, trying to do his job, and trying to be as ordinary as possible.
So I have to ask, who borrows more fitness tips from the other person? That'd be you or Rob?
I think we both kind of give each other advice. I've learned a lot about pliability from him. He practices a TB12 method a lot, so and it's worked for him. He's obviously, as a pro athlete, he takes on a lot with his body, a lot more than me as a dancer and, you know, someone who works out. I don't take those hits, so I learn a lot from him. And then I used to be a bar instructor, a bar fitness instructor, and do cardio dance teaching, as well as being a dancer and a ballerina my whole life. So there's a lot of different techniques that I've taught him. I definitely think he's learned a lot more from me from my eating habits. Surprisingly, he enjoys some of my vegan and vegetarian meals. And so it's been cool. You know, he used to call it bunny food, and now he's like, wow, you actually get full off of, you know, some of the meals that you're eating. I was like, always, you always can. But yeah, we both are constantly educating each other, and we love learning and just bringing our bodies to that optimal level of health.
Have you ever seen anything like, or experienced anything like you're seeing with Barry this season, kind of like I touched on before, where, I mean, you take an actor like Bill that's very likable and very talented, and then you get to the character, there were redeeming qualities, and then I guess now he's done things that there's no going back from. Have you seen that kind of, I guess, bravery or taking a chance in writing of a main character?
You know, no. I have to honestly say no. Bill and Alec are really very individual. They are very different from each other. They are great collaborators. And it is always a surprise for the cast. And then this year was really sad because we never saw each other unless, you know, Sarah was coming in for makeup to do a scene after I was finished. And we crossed Darcy. I got to hug in the parking lot. Stephen Root, his car was parked next to mine. That's how I knew he was somewhere on the lot.
I wanted to ask, was Saved by the Bell, was that like, did it feel like at one point everyone in the world just knew who you were like overnight, or was that like kind of a gradual fame that kind of gathered for you?
Yeah, I feel like at that age, it felt very much like overnight. I remember specifically, we actually started touring the States, and it was usually either Mark Paul and I by ourselves, or we would have the whole entire cast. Those are my dogs, by the way. Sorry, they were let up and they weren't supposed to.
I thought there was applause. It actually sounded like applause when you said Mark Paul. Maybe I'll appreciate that.
It's their collar. I think they're shaking or whatever. Yeah, I'll be texting my husband going, "You forgot to leave the gate closed." But it was, we started touring and doing like mall tours, like literally like signage, you know, with a bunch of, you know, kids who watched the show. And that was the first moment when I saw that crowd of people, of kids with Mark Paul, that I was like, oh, wow, there's a lot of people that watch this show.
You've been working for 45 years in film. I mean, what do you?
Been that long?
I believe so. I did double check. I started in '77, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how thankful are you for that it's transpired that way and you're still receiving acclaim at this point in your career?
Well, I'm still curious. You know, there's nothing that I found in life that says you at a certain age you're supposed to stop being curious about life. So I'm still curious about life, and as long as I'm curious, I'll keep searching.